Welcome to the live show. You know what time it is. It is your boy Genesis. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Yes, sir. We are back like we never left. Okay, with that being said, today we are going to throw it back to about 6-7 years ago. Okay, we're gonna throw it back because you have to know your history to know your future. Okay, you gotta know where you're coming from to know where you're going. So, with that being said, the title of our stream today is The Man Who Changed Everything. The man would change everything, y'all. The man would change everything that we know today. The way we perceive politicians, the way politicians interact with voters, the way people think about politicians. This guy changed it all. Okay? He was the 45th president of the United States, now the 47th. He changed it all. He changed the way we think about politicians. Late night Genesis never sleep. Shout out to Ellie, man. What can I do, bro? Can't sleep. Too many things up here. Can't sleep, bro. Okay, with that being said, the man who changed everything, his name is, well, I call him the legend, the Don, the OG. People say Teflon Don, but I would say he's the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president-elect. We're throwing it back today to 6 years ago. See what this guy accomplished during his term. And like I said, you got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going. Let's take a look at his first term and see what he achieved. Some of the things he achieved. Because that man did a lot, but let's see some of them.
The White House is teaming up with an unlikely ally to fight for prison reform. We're talking about CNN political commentator Van Jones. There's Van right there, side by side with the president's son-in-law and senior advisor, Jared Kushner. What was this like? Why was he there? We are joined now by Van Jones. And Van, before we get into the serious discussion here, I would like to replay for you the greeting you received by President Trump.
I also want to thank Van Jones, primarily because he constantly says such nice things about me. He did. Every once in a while, right? Every once in a while, he did. He actually has on occasion. Not too often, but I'll tell you what, though, it does feel good.
So, Van, as you yourself have noted, you are left of Pluto. So
look at Van Jones, bro. Van Jones looking like, dang God, this man talking about me. Like, look at Van Jones, bro. Van Jones smiling. You know why? Because this guy actually did something right. Look at, it's been a long time I've seen Van Jones smiling this hard. Shout out to QVO. Shout out to Mr. Booski. You know what time it is. God bless you for tuning in. Look, Van Jones smiling. It's been a long time I've seen Van Jones. I mean, Van Jones always smiles, but this smile right here is, thank God we're getting things done. Take a look at this right here.
Why is someone left of Pluto sitting next to Jared Kushner being praised by the president?
Well, I tell you, it was a surreal moment, and it came as a result of real consideration. As you know, and as the president pointed out, I'm tough on this White House. If you give me 100 issues on 99 issues, I've been beating them up hard because I'm for human rights, I'm for immigrant rights, I'm for trans rights, I'm for the environment. But I had to come to a decision. If on 99 issues I'm against you, but on one issue, someone like Jared Kushner, whose dad went to prison, wants to do something. And on that one issue, it would help women who are being brutalized in prison. It would get 4,000 federal prisoners home. It would give people the opportunity to come home earlier if they're earning their way home earlier. If you could actually do something to help somebody, do you just do nothing because you don't like them on 99 other issues? And I said to myself, I can't sit here and let 2,000 federal prisoners continue to be abused if they're sincere and we can make something happen. It turns out Hakeem Jeffries has been working on a bill that would actually make things a lot better for people in prison right now, and Jared Kushner supports that bill. And so I went to the White House and said, listen, if you guys are serious and you want to make something happen, progressives like myself on this one issue, going to fight you on 99, but on this one issue, we're not going to let federal prisoners continue to be abused. If you want to get something done, let's get something done.
Prison reform is one thing. Sentencing reform is a completely different thing, something you also care passionately about. Any sign that there's wiggle room there from this White House?
Not yet, and I think that the civil rights community right now is actually a little bit divided. Some people are saying if we can't get everything, if we can't get sentencing reform, criminal justice reform, prison reform, we can't get everything, we'll just take nothing. Well, the problem is we've been saying that now for 8 years. We said everything or nothing under Obama, and we wound up with nothing. And so I think continue to do the same.
Yes. Did you hear what he said? He said we've been saying everything or nothing. Under Obama, we got nothing. I want y'all, look, like I always do, this isn't racial politics, okay? This is just facts. Listen to what he said. This guy that everybody's against, everybody's saying is a bad guy. Listen to what Van Jones is saying about him.
We'll just take nothing. Well, the problem is we've been saying that now for 8 years. We said everything or nothing under Obama, and we wound up with nothing. And so I think continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, is the definition of insanity. Mm-hmm. If you look at what's happened at the state level, they usually start off with a minor set of reforms, Texas, minor set of reforms, and then over time, they closed 8 prisons in Texas, 8 prisons, because over time you begin to build up a bipartisan coalition and consensus to get more done. Some people say if you do a little bit now, you'll do nothing later. What I've seen is everybody wants to do everything at once, and we've gotten nothing done. So I support Hakeem Jeffries and Keith Ellison and Tulsi Gabbard and a bunch of good progressives in Congress who say, let's.
Did he just say Tulsi Gabbard? Oh, man. He just said Tulsi Gabbard. Good people. That's what he said. He called her a good person. But now they're finna say she ain't good.
Take yes for an answer on prison reform and then keep up the fight for sentencing reform.
You know, it's interesting. People I've talked to within this movement say that they have a receptive ear in Jared Kushner for sure, and they believe the president as well. But they feel that Jeff Sessions, who's the attorney general and holds great weight in all of these discussions, is absolutely opposed to these reforms. Is that something that you saw when you were sitting in that White House?
Look, I think there's a split in this administration. And, and that happens in administrations on key issues. You'll have, should we go to war or not, or should we do this or not? You'll have different camps and different factions. What I've been impressed by is, as much as I disagree on Jared on issue after issue, on this issue, he has been tough, he's been tenacious, and he's built up a coalition inside the administration. And and Hakeem Jeffries has built up a Democratic coalition outside the administration. You might actually get something done. And wouldn't it be amazing if the one area of bipartisan thaw and cooperation in the entire country was to help the least of these, to help people who have nothing, to have people who've been left out, who've been thrown away, people who are being brutalized right now, women who are being forced to give birth to babies while they're shackled, who don't even have the right to tampons. If you could actually do something for the least of these in this situation, I think that would be a very good sign. We can fight about every other issue from now till eternity, but if you could do something to help people come home earlier, job ready, I don't see how you say no.
Very quickly, Van, any other quality time with the president you had in there? Did you get a chance for chit chat, enjoy some tea, anything?
No, it was the most surreal experience sitting there, and here's this guy that I've been beating up on for, and will continue to for 3 years, and he's, right there, and he's looking at me and he's teasing me, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here, but I tell you what, I was afraid in that speech he was going to, start saying stuff that I disagreed with. Actually, everything he said about compassion for prisoners, I think the most liberal Democrat would have agreed with.
Good luck on booking him for the Van Jones show. We'll be watching for that. Van, thanks so much. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
There you have it, people. Van Jones praising this guy in 2017, 2018, saying this guy is the real deal. He worked on Prison Reform First Step Act. Now, everybody seems to say he's not the OG no more. Everybody said he's not the OG no more now, after they've all agreed on the fact that he's a legend. And when people say, what did he do? Tell me one Trump's policy that you agree with. You Uncle Ruckus. You Al's Ninja. It's like, bro. There you have it. There you have it.
Enrolled in drug treatment programs. And my administration intends to fully fund and implement this. Bipartisan, very pleasant word. Of the First Step Act, right? This landmark legislation will give countless current and former prisoners a second chance at what they're doing.
Okay. Thank you. Next. Find the right audio. Let me see.
Texas also, an early pioneer of what we're doing today. Thank you, Rick. And a very special thanks also to members of Congress. We have with us Senators Chuck Grassley. Where is our Chuck? Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. I'm glad I found him. I'd be in trouble if I didn't find him. Bill Cassidy. Bill. Thank you, Bill. Senator Cassidy. Mike Lee. Mike. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Senator Rob Portman. Thank you, Rob. Cindy Hyde Smith. Ran a great race. Good job. Congratulations, Cindy. Great job. And a friend of mine, Roger Wicker, Senator. Thank you. And a lot of congressmen and women are here, but just introduce a few of them. Congressman Doug Collins. Thank you, Doug. Josh Gottheimer. Thank you, Josh. And Tom Reed. No labels. A lot of governors are here, and some we're going to leave out. Because I don't like them. But that's okay. I'll get to like him. Kentucky Governor, man, I do like him. Matt Bevin. An incredible guy, a friend of mine and all of us for a long time, and he's going to be leaving the governorship one day soon, and we're not going to be happy about that at all. Phil Bryant, fantastic governor. He is a fantastic governor. And he built the African American Museum, and it's one of the best jobs I've seen in a long time. A lot of money, but under budget and ahead of schedule, right, Phil? And he was proud of that. You don't see that often in government. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Doug? Thank you, Doug. And Mrs. Burgum. And Mrs. Burgum, thank you very much. And Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Thanks, Ken. Washington, D.C. Attorney General Carl Racine. Carl, thank you. And his life became extremely complex. And he wouldn't trade it. I don't think he'd trade it because what he's doing is incredible. And he is doing great in the Middle East. I think you're going to have someday, before we're finished, I think you're going to have something very important signed. And I hope so. You're doing a great job. Thank you. So many people said, in fact, I guess we could say, almost all people said, that criminal justice reform would never pass. But we came together as a group, we worked across party lines, and we got it done. And it's an incredible thing when you see some of the people here, so conservative and then some so liberal. And we just have a lot of great people. They came together, they knew it had to be done. As president, I pledged to work with both parties for the good of the whole nation, and that's what it is. It's for the good of the whole nation, and it's something that is so important to me in terms of this and lots of other things. And it's happening slowly but surely. It's all happening. The more I met and spoke with those involved in our criminal justice system, the more clear it became that unfair sentencing rules were contributing to the cycle of poverty and crime like really nothing else before. It was time to fix this broken system, and it's a system of the past, and to improve the lives of so many people. And you look at the safety and all of the things that are happening now as a result of the first step. As an example, nonviolent prisoners will have opportunities to participate in vocational training, education, and drug treatment programs. When they get out of prison, they will be ready to get a job instead of turning back to a life of crime. Right? And I'm thrilled to report that since I signed the First Step Act, more than 16,000 inmates have already enrolled in drug treatment programs. And my administration intends to fully fund and implement this historic law. It's happening, and it's happening fast, and it's a lot for some people to understand, and as soon as they understand it, they say, wow, why didn't we do this a long time ago? And some of the great governors that are here with us today have already implemented it, and they were a step ahead, and now they're going a step further. And I want to just congratulate them. And these are states that I won't name because I don't know if I should be naming them, but these are states that you wouldn't think necessarily would be at the forefront of criminal justice reform. You understand that. Thank you. The First Step Act serves as a model for criminal justice reform as the state level and all over the state level, all over every aspect of what we do, and throughout many states that are following our lead and already moving similar legislation forward. Many of them are, including Arizona, Florida, Illinois, Missouri, and Mississippi. The First Step Act also ensures that those in prison are placed closer to their families and home communities so they can have that communication that they need, greatly easing their return to society. It's really important. Really important. And finally, the law rolls back provisions of the 1994 Clinton crime law that was so devastating to so many and that disproportionately impacted the African American community. Nobody believes how much, and now they understand it. In less than 4 months, more than 500 people with unfair sentences have been released from prison and are free to begin a new life. One of these newly freed Americans is Troy Powell, who is with us today. In 2004, Troy was sentenced to 20 years for doing a drug offense. During his 15 years in prison, he took courses and worked as an electrician, and he got really good at being an electrician, really good. In fact, if you ever lose your job, come see me. I need electricians. We could use them right here in the White House, Troy. You want to know that? In February, Troy was released under the First Step Act. 9 days later, he was hired at Boone Lumber Company in Lenoir, North Carolina. And now Troy is saving, and really saving, a lot of money because he's doing well. You know, our economy is helping a little bit, Troy, I'll tell you. But he's saving money to buy a home.
This is a man that, you know, people say he didn't do anything for the African American community. I really call them the brown skin community because, you know, everybody's American. If you were born in America, you are American. You're not African American or whatever. But this guy, people say he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything for anybody. Tell me one thing he did in his 4 years. There you have it. The First Step Act. Prison reform. Okay?
And he's got one in mind, one particular home in mind. He'll get it. I have no doubt about it. So, Troy, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He didn't know about you.
Just look how he's making everybody feel acceptable, involved, included. This is a billionaire, guys. This guy was a billionaire before he became the president of the United States, so he didn't have to do all of this shenanigans, okay? He cares about the people, and he actually got something done. Something that you heard Van Jones say, we wanted everything, but we got nothing under Obama. I mean, y'all heard it, but Van Jones praised Trump for the prison reform. It's amazing how people flip-flop when it comes to politics.
Man, this is crazy. Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you to everybody here on Capitol Hill for finally getting this bill pushed through. I mean, I know there was a lot of work involved in it, and I would like to say thank you to the organizations that got me here, like Cut 50 and Amy Can Do. Them people, I mean, they've done so much for me. It's unbelievable how much they've done for me. I never thought this bill would pass, and coming home and finding places like Boone Lumber Company that took a chance on me right out the door. I mean, no problem. Come on to work, you know. I can't thank everybody enough for that. But more than just thanking everybody for these things, there's more that can be done. I left so many people behind in prison doing 40 and 50 years for nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. I mean, should I have went to prison? Absolutely. I committed a crime, but for 20 years for the small things that I done, I should have definitely went to prison. And I don't know what to say. I think there should be a second step. That's what I say. I think there should be a second step.
Now, could I have said it better than that? His statement about so many people, and that's true. So many people are there that really are serving 40 and 50-year sentences for things that you wouldn't even believe, that some people wouldn't even be going to prison for today. So I just think that was incredible. And don't worry, I'm going to ask a couple of, but none of them know they're going to speak, and that makes it, that usually produces a much better speech. We're also proud to have with us on stage 5 more Americans who have been released under the First Step Act and transformed their lives. And that includes Gregory Allen. Where's Gregory? Gregory. Hi,
Gregory. Mine is real short. 2 months ago, I was in a prison cell, and I'm in the White House. Let's continue to make America great again.
My man. Hoo-wee. For anybody who wanna say the OG, the legend, the Don, the 45th, now the 47th president-elect did not do anything for anybody. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. First Step Act prison reform. There's a man who said 2 months ago, I was in a prison cell. Now I'm in the White House. I see no racism here, guys. Look at this brown-skinned man hugging the president of the United States, the 45th, who happens to be a Caucasian. Okay, y'all want to say he's racist. Look at that. This is what a commander-in-chief does. Gives everybody a fair shot. Okay? Gives everybody a chance. Man, you gotta respect this guy, man. That's why I'm so optimistic about the 47th. This next 4 years, I believe tremendous things are gonna happen. Wonderful things are gonna happen. Even better than the first term he had when he was president from 2016 to 2020. And this time, I just hope that we do not keep pushing racial jargons. Okay, let's just stick to the facts, come together, and let's work to achieve greater things. I wish the news media would just report the truth, like the facts, what he's actually saying, and not try to twist words, because this was actually happening in his first term, during his first term. But it's like nobody actually publicized this like the way they would publicize him telling the press or news media, sit down, I'm not taking your questions right now. And that would be like what they were going to put on TV every single time you watch anything concerning Trump. But look at what this guy actually did in his first term. Changing real Americans' lives. Just amazing, guys.
Includes Gregory Allen. Where's Gregory? Gregory. Hi,
Mine is real short. 2 months ago, I was in a prison cell, and I'm in the White House. Let's continue to make America great again.
That's great. And you know what? The people of our country feel the same way as Absolutely. They do. They feel it. Yvonne Fountain. Yvonne? Yvonne, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Yvonne. Oh, she wants to come up? Come up, Yvonne. She wants to come up. Come on, Yvonne.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
I love it.
I just want to say,
Look, I ain't gonna cap. Like, Trump is those type of people like that would sneak to the brown skin community to eat like hot dog and mac and cheese. I'm telling y'all, man, this guy right here, cause he grew up in New York. Okay, of course y'all say his father was an established businessman, but this guy was definitely sneaking to the ghetto. He was sneaking to the ghetto, man, because the way he butt people, like the way he shakes hands with people, you would know this man right here, he has a tough skin, and definitely he's been sneaking to the backyard to go to the ghetto when he was a baby. That's for sure. There's no way, because the way, like, look at the way he shook the brown skin guys. Like, you could tell this guy grew up. Of course, he grew up with, he grew up privileged. His father was a businessman. However, it's like he grew up tough in some way, shape, or form. I just feel like that because he knows every slang that you want to talk about. He knows every way to like get around BS. It's like he just knows these things. God.
I am so grateful. First, I want to thank God because God got me through a lot in prison. Yes, I went to prison. I did my time. I was good the whole time. I worked. I stayed out of trouble. I programmed. I did what I need to do. When y'all passed this, I could have fell through the floor because I had been waiting for years and years for them to pass that mandatory minimum. That's a hard thing. But I'm grateful. I thank everybody who put their hands in it, all the hard work, and I really thank you for signing that bill. So when you signed it, I could have went through the floor. Thank you so much.
April Johnson. April, come up here.
I just want to thank you for signing the bill. I got it on compassionate release for my daughter.
Man, this is emotional, man. I mean, come on. This is definitely emotional. Like, this is why I like throwing it back once in a while so we can, kind of appreciate the 40-50, because I feel like, 2020 with the whole pandemic that happened in 2020, it sort of kind of like erased everything he got done. And it's like, this guy did a lot. Like, he did a lot. Like, people forget about the gas prices, the mortgage rate, the economy, the inflation, the border, the peace around the world, First Step Act, Opportunity Zone, right to try. People forget all these things. And guess what they talk about? The pandemic. He gave us the pandemic. That's what everybody talks about. It's like, bro, you forgot all the Gucci stuff that you got. You forgot all the Gucci stuff that you got, bro. But it is what life is. Like, you could be a good person all your life, but once you do one bad thing, nobody stops talking about it. And he didn't even cause the pandemic. That's something that happened worldwide. So this is just for you guys to appreciate the 45th, man. And now you have another chance to do it again. He is the 47th. Please act accordingly. Okay, show him some love. Appreciate him, because this is his last time coming in. It's not ever coming back. Okay, whoever y'all gonna get back is probably like what, Vivek, JD, or Ron DeSantis. That's who you're gonna get for the next 4 to 16 years. It's either you get JD Vance, Tulsi, Ron DeSantis, or Vivek. One of those four. That's who we're probably gonna get in the next 4 to 16 years. Any Republicans that do win. But this is the time to appreciate this person right here, man. Shout out to Vegas, and shout out to Mr. Busky. Shout out to Ellie. You know what time it is. Vegas says, I am a felon, a falsely accused felon. Man, hugs to you. Hugs to you, Vegas. Man, you're a good person, man. I believe you. Look, if you say you were falsely accused, I 100% believe you, because you're a good person. I could sense the vibe, okay? But I'm glad you're out here living your life, working as hard as you can. You always talk about you on your trucks, and I'm proud of you, man. And everybody watching right now, thank you. Double tap your screen. Let's get it.
And because of that, I'll be able to spend what time she has left with her. She was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in September, and they have since gave her a grave prognosis. And because of the bill and the First Step Act, I'll be able to spend the rest of her time with her. And I thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. You take care.
Nah, man. I don't want to hear nothing. I do not want to hear nothing more from anybody who says anything bad about this dude right here. Because he's actually a real dog. Like, real G right here. This is a real G. Listen to this. These are real people. Like, real people. everyday people. These are not billionaires, millionaires, probably not even hundreds of thousands in their bank account. They probably have like 20K or 5K or $1,000 in their bank account, probably $200. But they're here in the White House giving their testimony, and it's treating them like he would treat billionaires, hugging and shaking and kissing them. Yet, all of this should have been like the campaign ads right here. These right here could have been the campaign ads for the 47th. But like, he's done way too much that you could show too many stuff and you would never stop showing his achievements. He's achieved so much, guys. That's why I was so proud to vote for him. I was so proud to vote for him, man. I was so happy. I was going to the voting booth with my daughter. I said, baby, let's go vote for Donald Trump, bro. I was so happy I was going to vote for him.
Thank you very much. Beautiful. Catherine Toney. Catherine, I thought that was you, Catherine. Come.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank God. Then I would like to thank the President for signing the bill. I also would like to thank Jared. I'd like to thank Van Jones, Jessica Jackson, Cut 50, Amy Pova. I would also like to thank Harry Jackson, Bishop Harry Jackson. He's been great through my release. I would like to thank Jared for calling corporate of Walmart, getting me my first job in 16 years. I would also like to thank Becky, which is here. Ms. Becky, could you please stand up, Becky Settler? She has worked with me since I've left the White House the first time, getting me this job at Walmart, which Jared reached out to them. And I just want to thank everybody, both parties. And what I have to say is, I feel as if the First Step Act needs to be fully implemented, and it needs to be fully funded in order to make this step work. It's so many people that we left behind that needs the same opportunity that we on this stage have. And if they had the full funding that this step need, it would be many of us on this stage. So I just want to thank everyone, and God bless you all.
And a man who's actually become much more famous than me or anybody else in the room. His story is an incredible story, and it's been inspiring. And I'd just like to introduce quickly Matthew Charles. Matthew.
Thank you. I'm truly humbled. Nobody can be more famous than you. I'm truly humbled. I'm grateful. I'm thankful. Jared, the President, thank that you were insistent about getting this bill passed and signed. When it stalled in the Senate, and you informed Mitch McConnell you wanted to actually do this before that Senate and Congress went out. I'm always remember that. So I'm just humble, thankful. In all, I'm still pleasantly overwhelmed, and it's an experience that I never forget. Thank you.
And I want to thank you all, and a woman who I think is a terrific woman and spokesman, and I've watched her, and we helped her a little bit. She was in jail for a long time, and she had a long time to go. And I'd like to say, is Alice here? Where's Alice? Where's that? Come up here, Alice. Alice Johnson. Alice Johnson. Come.
Thank you so much. First of all, everyone knows me. I have to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ first. And I want to thank our incredible president, President Donald John Trump.
Legend.
I just told him I finally get a chance to hug you and properly say thank you for believing in me. And I'd like to thank all of the advocates who have fought so long for me, who have been working behind the scenes trying to magnify my case. I thank everyone in this room for your prayers. And I also want to thank the media for being so kind to me, because you have really helped magnify my story.
Are you sure?
But thank you. I'm an example of a woman who has been given a second chance in life. There are so many others who deserve that same second chance. And so I'm grateful for platforms like this, for events like this today, that magnifies that need. Because somehow, when you see a face, when you see another human being like me, who has been separated from their family almost 22 years, that changes things, that changes heart. God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Alice. You know, when you said, Alice said, I want to also thank the media, I sort of bent over and said, are you sure? She said, and I do too. I think it's fantastic. That's great. And a couple of people, Van Jones, please stand up, please. He goes after me on occasion. But you know what? He came together with this one. We all agree this is very, very strong. This is a great bonding, and we appreciate it. You worked very hard on it, along with Ivanka. Please stand up. Ivanka. And Charlie Kirk, stand up real fast. And Matt Schlapp, stand up real fast. You guys. Now, that's an example of seriously conservative people. And they're totally into it, right? I mean, so many, so many. So to recognize the dignity and the potential of every American, I've designated April as the Second Chance Month, and we have a beautiful certificate from it. As a result of our incredible economic turnaround, we had a big stock market day today, so that makes it even better, but a big day. There's never been a better time for those who need a second chance and they get a fresh start. It's so incredible to see people coming out of prison. They've done, historically, as you know, very, very poorly, oftentimes having to go back because they come out, they can't get a job. Nobody wants to hire them because they were in prison. And because the economy is so strong, they're getting an incredible start, as we say. And it's also maybe even more incredible to see what the people that are doing the hiring are saying. They are in love with what's happening. They're hiring people that are great, and they're letting everyone know it. Everyone know it. Pretty incredible. So the good economy is really giving them a chance, and a second chance, and in some cases, really a third chance. And they're working out. I can't say everybody, but the word is that it's been terrific. It's been just terrific. Employers all over the country are helping out. And Walmart has been a big factor. Ivanka, I know that was through you, and other of the major companies, but also smaller companies. And the results are incredible. They're just really good. And we're very, very happy about that. So congratulations to everybody in the room. Since my election, we've created more than 5.3 million jobs. Unemployment has reached the lowest rate in more than 50 years. Last year, a record 73% of new jobs went to people who were out of the labor force, totally out, and now they're coming off the sidelines and going back to work. And you've seen where I've said a lot, because I'm very proud of it. I said, what do you have to lose? And people would say, well, maybe you shouldn't say, but I meant that because it was tough. African American unemployment is the lowest level in the history of our country right now. And that goes for Hispanic American, Asian American. Women are very close. Women are at a 64-year low. It's up to 64, soon to be historic, I hope, and it's been incredible. African American income, by the way, and Hispanic American income is the highest level it's ever been in the history of our country. That's a big factor. But to take advantage of everything, those with criminal records still face many barriers toward gainful employment. When Catherine Toney was released in February, she had difficulty finding work due to her past record. She applied to the local Walmart in Daphne, Alabama. As part of our pledge to America's workers, Walmart is looking to change its hiring practice. It has already started very strongly and is hiring a lot of great people, and some are getting a second chance and some are getting a little bit more than that. And I want to thank Walmart, and I really want to thank some of the big companies of our country. They're doing an incredible job. What they're doing is, I think even if you go back, Van, 5 years, 10 years, you go back just a short while ago, nobody would believe what's happening with respect to exactly what we're talking about today. Very few people would believe it. So we're very, very proud. They interviewed Catherine. They were really impressed by her resolve, her ability to speak so beautifully. She'll probably end up running for office. And 2 weeks ago, she began her first day in the job, and I have no doubt she's going to be very successful, and she'll do a terrific job. So, Catherine, we can't wait to see you and all that you achieve over what will be a long, long life, and we appreciate it very much. We appreciate it very much. We look forward to that. Americans with criminal records are unemployed at rates up to 5 times higher than the national average. Today, I'm announcing that the Second Step Act will be focused on successful reentry and reduce unemployment for Americans with past criminal records, and that's what we're starting right away. And I'm very proud to say that we're leading the way, but a lot of states are now following us. They're liking it, they're following us. And believe it or not, it's great for our people. It's great for the people that it so deeply affects. But, you know, it's also great for the economy. We actually, it's hard to believe, we save a tremendous amount of money because people are coming out with these 40 and 50-year sentences for what you would consider to be everything serious, but not that serious. And they're getting out and they're working instead of being in prison. And we're saving hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars and doing good at the same time. So that's sort of a rare occurrence. Our goal is to cut the rate to single digits within 5 years, and I think that's very, very achievable, especially if the economy keeps going the way it is, and we're going to keep it going the way it is. When we say hire American, we mean all Americans, including former inmates who have paid their debt to society, and they've paid it, in many cases, more than many of the people that we think of in our society. They have really paid their debt. Our bond with our fellow citizens is what stitches us together as one united nation, sharing one common destiny. We will achieve our goal by encouraging employers to adopt second chance hiring practices. That's a movement that's very, very in vogue, but when I say in vogue, it's something that's happening, and it's happening all over. And again, we're going to lead that way, but we are really being studied by a lot of great governors in a lot of states, and some are even with us. I don't want to let them get too far ahead of us, because I would hate to have that down. We came in second. That's no good. But they really are. They're doing a fantastic job at the state level. We're also making it easier to work by removing obstacles to securing housing and driver's licenses and occupational licenses. And we're promoting mentorship through proven programs such as prison fellowship, something that people really find very important and very good. My administration is also supporting funding for reentry programs, including $88 million for Second Chance Act. You know that.
$88. Did he say $88 billion or $1 million?
And occupational licenses, and we're promoting mentorship through proven programs such as prison fellowship, something that people really find very important and very good. My administration is also supporting funding for reentry programs, including $88 million for Second Chance Act. You know that.
All right, so $88 million for Second Chance Act. That's wild.
And an estimated $28 million for the Pell Grants pilot program. Great program. And really, I think maybe more than anything else, we're now proving that we are a nation that believes in redemption. And to remind us what is possible, we're joined by a couple of people. First of all, is Pastor Scott here? Darrell Scott. Where's Pastor? Is he here someplace? He's worked so hard. I wanted to point him out. Darrell, thank you very much. Thank you, Darrell. Darrell Scott, thank you. Worked so hard. Every time I see him on television, I say, I don't want to go against that guy. He's a tough pastor, a good friend. And also a man who has served time in federal prison, but today he's with us, and he's now a professor of law at a place called Georgetown University, and one of his students happens to be my daughter, Tiffany. So Sean, hey, could I ask Sean to come up, please? Where is Sean? Are you here? Where is Sean? Sean, come up.
Sean, come up.
Is my daughter okay as a student?
She is.
She better be.
Oh, gee.
It's fun to get to come back here. The one thing I realized when we worked on First Step was I got to meet a lot of really cool people, and we worked on this together, and I have become friends with so many of you. It's astonishing to me that so many people want to come work and help people that are in prison. Because when you're in prison, it feels very lonely, and there's not a lot of hope. And now there is more hope in the federal system than there ever has been at any point since I have been watching. And that's because of the work that everybody in this room has done. Thank you for helping people like me. Thank you for giving second chances. I think you are going to be rewarded in a way that you cannot even imagine when we get more people like my friend Matthew Charles, who, by the way, came over to our house last night for dinner. And you know what my daughter said?
What?
My 7-year-old daughter said, "Dad, how do I talk to Matthew? He's so famous." So thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership on this. You have gotten things done that has taken decades of work from a lot of people in this room, and to see the fruits of your labor,
Facts.
It's just amazing to watch. Thank you, sir.
Keep up the good work. And the First Step Act proves that really, beyond almost anything we can think of, our country can achieve amazing breakthroughs when we put politics aside and put the interests of all Americans first.
Thanks.
It's true. So true, especially in these times. If we work together for the common good, we can forge a future of even greater safety, opportunity, dignity, and freedom for the families across this incredible nation of ours. I want to again thank everybody in the room, everybody for being with us, so many leaders. I see Paula White, she's worked so hard on bringing the faith-based community together. And where's Paula? That's right, so hard. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Such a great job. And most importantly, I want to congratulate all of the people that have been so incredibly successful. They've left a place called prison, and as you said brilliantly, they arrived at the White House. They go from prison to the White House, and you know what? You're going to have an incredible future. Everybody in this room, you know who we're talking about, and the people standing on this stage, you're going to have an incredible future, and it's my honor, and it's the honor of all of the folks in this room that have helped to have been part of a process, I think that's going to go down as a tremendous day in the history of our country. A lot of tremendous things are about to happen. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated as the President departs the room.
There you have it. First Step Act, prison reform. He shakes everybody's hands, changes real people's lives. Real people. Real people. This ain't media stunt. This is real life people, real Americans. Every single day Americans going through life made a mistake. They got convicted and they spent way more time than they should truly have. And he pardoned him, right? First Step Act. Well, maybe not a pardon, but First Step Act. Now they're out. So sometimes, man, we just got to respect what he actually achieved and just, give respect to who deserves it. Even if you don't like them, you don't have to like them as long as they do something that is worth respecting. Respect is earned. It's not free. Respect is something that you earn as an adult. As a baby, everybody loves you. Okay. Oh, you're so cute. Oh, goo gaga. They're so cute. Okay. Babies are so cute. Everywhere we go, everybody looks at my 5-year-old daughter like she's Cinderella golden. Your daughter is so cute. Yeah. I get it. Okay. She's young. Everybody loves babies. But once you become an adult, you have to earn respect. You have to be responsible for your actions and stuff like that. So you just got to give him his respect, man. He earned it. Look, he earned it. Just like Van Jones said in this video.
Tonight ends a big week in American history. All right, the House of Representatives formalized procedures that could lead to the impeachment of the President of the United States. That's huge. Only thing bigger was the partisan divide that was on full display when the vote went down. Not one Republican voted for the resolution, not one. Only 2 Democrats opposed it from conservative districts in tight races. Going forward, you'd expect more of the same, this division. Republicans are going to focus on sideshows and stunts, but no president can set up an apparent shadow diplomacy run by Rudy Giuliani to go out and collect political favors for himself. And Republicans know that. On the other hand, Democrats are going to keep poo-pooing the Republicans' growing concerns about due process, forgetting that millions of Republican voters also need to feel this process is fair. All right, so listen, the investigation should go forward, but we pretty much already know what we're going to get out of this whole thing. Party line votes in both chambers, Trump still in office, and deeper divisions in America. That's where we are. So if we got to go through this, let's not make it worse by speaking about each other so harshly. House Minority Whip Steve Scalise accused Democrats of holding Soviet-style impeachment proceedings. Trump called his Republican critics human scum. And some Trump allies actually went after anybody who testified this week, even Republicans, including a decorated war veteran. And it's not just Republicans. You got people screaming, lock him up, to Trump at a baseball game. Hillary Clinton attacking a fellow Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard. People smashing on Ellen. They're smashing on Ellen for sitting next to George W. Bush at a Cowboys game. Nastiness is just taking over everything. And I'm just as guilty myself sometimes. Last weekend, I was at a criminal justice summit in Charleston, South Carolina. For the first time in my life, presidential candidates from both parties, including Trump, were going to be in one place, finally acknowledging that the prison system is too big, too bloated, too unfair. That is a big turnaround from recent years when Republicans and Democrats were going around promising more prisons. So I was pumped. But then Kamala Harris pulled out because Trump was being honored there. Now look, I know Trump has caused a lot of pain.
Whoa. Did Van Jones, bro, this was what? This was 5 years ago, guys. This video was 5 years ago, and Kamala Harris' name comes up. She pulled out because Trump was going to be honored. Listen to this, man. Oh, hey. Thank God she didn't win.
Big turnaround from recent years when Republicans and Democrats were going around promising more prisons. So I was pumped. But then Kamala Harris pulled out because Trump was being honored there. Now look, I know Trump has caused a lot of pain and a lot of fear in our communities. So it is very hard to see him get positive credit for anything sometimes. But on this one topic, he did sign a breakthrough bipartisan bill that has so far freed thousands of people from federal prison. And that bill has sparked copycat bills at state levels, helping even more people. Now, as much hell as we rightfully give Trump when he does wrong, it's only fair to give him a little bit of credit when he does something right. So I tweeted out something snarky about Kamala not coming. And Black Twitter tore me up, okay? And you know what? They were right, because my tone was off.
Wait, are we listening to the same thing? So Kamala Harris has been having this grudges against DOJ for over 5-6 years now. She didn't even come because he signed the First Step Act. Even Van Jones acknowledges it 5 years ago, y'all. 5 years ago.
I should have tweeted, Kamala, please come. It's important. We need your voice. That's what was in my heart. It was not in my tweet. Now, luckily, Kamala came anyway. So did Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Mayor Pete, a bunch of other folks, and Donald Trump. And they all did a great job. History was made. But rather than putting anybody down, I should have been lifting that fact up. See, in this toxic environment, all of us, myself included, have to work hard not to let the nastiness pull us down.
So that's what I expect him to be doing in 2024 to 2028. That's what I expect him to be doing. That's what I expect him to be doing, man. Promote love, unity. That's what we need to be promoting this next 4 years. What he just did there, that's what we need him to be doing for the next 4 years. No cap.
Well, overshadowed in the shutdown fight and White House staff departures, today bringing a rare moment of bipartisanship and a big victory for President Trump as he signed the criminal justice reform bill. As you see right here, the new law allows federal inmates to leave prison earlier with good behavior credits, and it also eases guidelines on mandatory sentences. The bill bringing together those on all sides of the political spectrum for a rare moment of bipartisanship in the Oval Office.
In the process of this has brought together friendships that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I'm now texting buddies with Van Jones.
And when you're trying to help people on the bottom, sir, I will work with or against any Democrat, with or against any Republican, because there is nothing more important than freedom. So thank you, sir.
With me now, Van Jones himself. You just saw him there in the Oval Office. Van, congratulations. I know how hard you worked on this. We just heard you talking there in the Oval Office. You have been a big supporter of this criminal justice reform law. Tell me why, and tell me a little bit about the journey getting to this point today.
Yeah. Look, I, for 25 years, have been working on criminal justice, juvenile justice, police reform, youth violence. I graduated from Yale Law School in 1993 and moved to California. I've been working on this issue for 25 years. And for most of that time, both political parties were afraid to admit what everybody knows, that we're spending way too much money, locking up way too many people, often for nonviolent stuff or for too long. And when they're there, they come home bitter and not better. And it's a huge waste of human genius and money. Nobody in politics has been wanting to say that. And yet, at the state level, some positive things began moving forward in red states like Georgia and Texas, also Massachusetts, California, and it began to, from the grassroots, people began to push back and for a better model. I wanted to do anything I could to get that to the federal level. When Obama was in office, I was working with Newt Gingrich to try to help him. We didn't get across the finish line. Donald Trump has a son-in-law named Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner's father went to prison, and Jared understands what people are going through, and he decided to fight. And a lot of people got mad at me because I said, you know, I'm willing to work with him on that issue. Fight him on everything else if we disagree, but where we do agree, let's work hard together. And they said it would never happen, you'll never get there, Trump is going to sell you down the river, nobody's going to cooperate, and it was the opposite. We got 87 votes to 12 in the Senate. You can't get 87 votes to change a post office name these days, and we got 87 votes. In the House, I think yesterday we got 358 votes to 36. The country is just fed up with the nonsense, but it took a little bit of courage to break that logjam, and now it's broken. This bill is going to help a lot of people, but it's a First Step Act. I think you're going to see a lot of bills at the state level now, city level now, and more in the federal government. This is the beginning of a change back towards sanity.
And it really is a
I mean, for CNN to be saying this amount of good things about the 45th, this right here was 5 years ago. Everybody was smiling, relaxed, joyful. Everybody was good. Like, man, can y'all remember? Like, can you remember when everything you thought about was just how much you had in your savings account and you were just smiling at night? Like, thank God, I finally paid off my credit card bills. I finally got $1,000 in my savings account. God, thank God. Can you remember that? Can you remember those days? Like, can you remember when you saw your credit card fully paid off? Yeah, I fully paid off my credit card under Trump. Fully. I had a couple of bucks in the savings account. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm doing great, bro. Because everything was so affordable. Gas, like I would fill up my gas tank with like $15 or like $18. I'm like with $20, I could probably drive to North Carolina. And I'm like 5 hours away. Like you could go on a trip, have a good time. Man, I cannot wait for them good days to come back.
A rare example, sadly, a rare example of bipartisanship. You heard Mike Lee there say, look, I'm now texting buddies with Van Jones. I never thought that would be the case. But in your, yeah, exactly. You never know. But in your view, what does this bill get right and what is it missing?
Listen, this bill, the New York Times says it's the biggest criminal justice breakthrough in a generation because 100% of people behind bars, if they stay out of trouble, can now come home a little bit earlier. 100% of the women behind bars can no longer be shackled when they're pregnant. No juveniles in the federal system can be put in solitary confinement. But half of the people behind bars can work hard, take classes, get job ready, and come home even earlier. So now you've got an incentive to work hard. Also, they've cleaned up some of the old bad sentencing laws and all that stuff. But we got way more to do. But we got started, and that's the most important thing.
There's a lot of news today, but this is very important. The president signing this bipartisanship bill on.
Van Jones have never spoken like this during the last 4 years concerning Biden. He's never said anything concerning Biden that he was this optimistic about, and he supports Biden. He supports Biden and still supported Kamala. And he never said anything great like this during this Biden administration. It's just whack and sad how like loyalty to your party is just, if your party ain't doing what it's supposed to do, I ain't loyal to no goddamn party. Yeah, I ain't even a Republican in the first place, so I ain't loyal to nobody. If you ain't doing what you're supposed to do, then you gonna have to go. Yeah, you gonna have to go. Yeah. You going to have to leave if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, baby. You're gonna have to go. Yeah, I want you guys to see this. Tourists at the White House. Just take a look at DOG, man. Take a look at the response from people. Upton, everybody was happy. Man, I miss this day. Look. Man, y'all. And they still shamed him. They still try to take him down. They still impeached him. They still try to sabotage his government. They still spied on him. They still raided his house when he left the White House. They tried to stop him from doing what he was supposed to do. Yet, he showed love. Take a look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look, he wants to go in there. He said, take the barrier off. I want my people to come over here. Come on, man. Come on. Oh, man. Man, I don't want to hear nothing more. I do not want to hear nothing more. Nothing. Look at that. That's the commander-in-chief. Look at that. Man, look. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing more. A commander-in-chief that people actually want to come and see. A commander-in-chief that people actually want to come to the White House to see, bro. Oh, God. Oh, God. People actually want to come see him. Man, look, shaking hands. Oh, man. Yeah, this man is such a legend, man. I don't care what nobody says. Everybody can say what they want to say. This guy is a legend. Oh. Next one. Shout out to Karen Murray. Shout out to Karen Murray, man. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, today we're just celebrating the 45th, 47th. This is what we're doing. It's going to be a quick live. We're going to bounce out real soon. Just want to show you who this guy is, man. Before people start lying and talking BS. First of all, a commander-in-chief who doesn't fall off the stairs. Take a look at it. Take a look at that. A real president. Take a look at it. Like, the people actually like him. It was like, you actually like your president. That's wild. Look at that. Look. Everybody, look at my president. People are just happy. Everybody was happy. Like, look at the president. A powerful man. A man with some balls. Okay? Now fix the camera.
Just started, and I had my choice between you and them, and I chose you. Thank you, everybody.
He doesn't like the military. He treats the military so poorly.
Thank you, everybody.
There you have it.
Over the debaters. You're smarter. You're smarter than they are. Better looking. On my phone? That's important. It's on the phone? Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. That's beautiful.
Such a legend, though.
Group here, huh?
Such a legend.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Such a legend.
You probably don't get told, but they see something. Thanks. Good place to be. Nice clean air. No problem with the air. I have your governor in the plane just watching the debate.
Everybody was glad he was the president. And it's just facts. Okay? Just facts. What do we have here?
We're seeing them now break up, and this is the area where they're standing with the flags, where they made history not that long ago, where we saw them walk out just a couple of hours ago, approach each other and shake hands the very first time a sitting U.S. president has met with the leader of North Korea. The two of them now having had their private meeting, the meetings with the groups, the working lunch, and now we see them as they're exiting this resort area. This is actually a small island off of Singapore. Singapore made up of multiple dozens of islands, I think in the 60s. But now they leave this area that we're told is a very tropical, humid environment there, as they have been sitting across from each other, and having very serious discussions. The president a couple of times having comments, bits of humor with the press, with his counterpart there. They have been smiling. They have talked about extensively that they would work their way past challenges they both admit are there.
Such a legend.
And Kim Jong-un saying, listen, it's not going to be easy, but I'll vow to you that I will listen. He said that.
A man that actually has conversation with other world leaders. You didn't have to think about somebody blowing up another city. Like, nobody even... Oh, man. Oh, man. Isn't this what we should want? Isn't this what you should want from a commander-in-chief? Isn't this what you need from a commander-in-chief? A man who actually is a diplomat. Someone who talks through challenges, who steps up and lead, not with bombs and BS, but with actual words, and lead and project peace through strength. Like, God, Lee, isn't this what you want? Look at Kim Jong-un laughing, happy. This is probably one of his favorite days in his whole entire existence. He's so happy. The president of the United States is here. He probably told his whole nation, curfew, 9 a.m., nobody comes outside. We are expecting the president of the United States. Y'all better make sure the city is clean for the legend. Like, isn't this what you want? Everybody was in peace and harmony. Man.
And President Trump talking about the fact that he would reach across and try to bring this to some fruition. We're going to listen in to see if we can hear something here.
Really very positive. I think better than anybody could have expected. Top of the line. Really good. We're going right now for a signing.
What are you signing? Can I give any comments about denuclearization? What are you signing, sir?
We're going to be announcing that in a couple of minutes. Mr. King,
Man, this man is such a legend. I don't.
And as we've said, Jason, with this president, often where you get the most media information or interesting things is when they're walking away and this is supposed to be wrapped up. Now, he said something interesting there. He said, we're going to sign something. And the press there yelling, what are you signing? What are you going to be signing? I'm not sure that's something that we expected, but he said, we'll tell you in a couple of minutes. What's going through your mind?
I don't know, but they seemed both happy and jovial, and to have them actually signing something together, that was a pretty productive lunch for the president and Kim Jong-un. I don't know what it is. We're going to find out in a few minutes, but this is history in the making.
It is. Maybe it was those stuffed cucumbers. I don't know. That was quite a fancy menu they had. But the president said there it's been really, really positive, better than anyone could have expected, top of the line, and now we're heading off to sign something. So we have no idea. There's so many things that they were going to talk about here, from formally ending the Korean War to denuclearization to some verification process. It seems nearly impossible that's something they would have worked out this quickly. But yet they're moving towards going to sign something. And the two leaders smiling, good body language, very comfortable, it seems, with each other. And now, the president knows how to work it. He knows how to tease things. The man has been a reality TV star. And now we've just gotten the ultimate tease about these two going off to sign something. And now we wait to find out what that could possibly be.
Well, each of the leaders brings in their own motorcade. They bring in their own food. They have it, highly scripted. But I'm not sure what.
Look. There you have it. Met with Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un and nothing happened. Kim was such cool, calm, collected person because he doesn't want smoke with the OG. Okay? He didn't want smoke. And this is what we should all advocate for. Not to be employing Congress sending over $62 billion to Ukraine. That's not what we should be advocating for. Saying Ukraine needs to defend themselves. No, that's not what we should be saying. We should be saying the war should not have started in the first place. If there was a real leader in the White House, a real commander-in-chief, the war would never have started. Because the person in the White House would have had a conversation with Vladimir and say, yo, you ain't finna do none of that. You do not want this smoke, bro. Okay? Let's talk through it. What do you want? You need the United States. Russia needs the United States, bro. Okay? Russia needs the United States. Just make a deal. Okay, Ukraine, pull up. Zelensky, Putin, y'all shake hands. Y'all gonna be brothers, okay? We're not gonna be fighting. We need the world's economy to be booming. And if the world is fighting against each other, the world's economy cannot boom. You feel me? So I really respect him for what he's done, man. I gotta say it, man. I really respect this guy. And again, concerning the border, here is a video of him actually talking about the border and declaring national emergency over the border. Because he was trying to build a wall. And guess what the Democrats were saying back then? What, you building a wall? Now they want to build a wall. 8 years later, they want to build a wall.
We want to have a safe country. I ran on a very simple slogan, make America great again. If you're going to have drugs pouring across the border, if you're going to have...
Ladies and gentlemen, this right here was 5 years ago. Like, I don't know, man. This guy has been talking about the same issues for years. He's tried to solve them. He's solved a lot of them. And guess what Biden did when he got in there? Reversed every single one of them. Except most of the tariffs. He left the tariffs because he knew they actually worked. But most of the rest, he's taking them all down. He took them all down. He's taking them all down. So why? Why would you take them all down? Just to spite Trump and hurt the American people? How does that even work? You came in there, you took him all down, and now the people are complaining. They voted you out. You took him all down and you gave us Kamala Harris. And you expect us to say we are with her? Man, we ain't with her, bro.
Human traffickers pouring across the border in areas where we have no protection, in areas where we don't have a barrier, then very hard to make America great again. But we've done a fantastic job, but we haven't been given the equipment. We haven't been given the walls. And in the bill, by the way, they didn't even fight us on most of the stuff. Ports of entry, we have so much money, we don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with all the money they're giving us. It's crazy. The only place they don't want to give us much money, $1,375 million. Sounds like a lot, but it's not so much, although we're putting it to much better use than it used to be. A lot of the past administrations, it was easy to get, they didn't build, or they didn't do what they could have done. It would have been great. It would have been great to have done it earlier, but I was a little new to the job, a little new to the profession. And we had a little disappointment for the first year and a half. People that should have stepped up did not step up. They didn't step up, and they should have. Would have been easy. Not that easy, but it would have been a lot easier. But some people didn't step up. But we're stepping up now. So we have a chance of getting close to $8 billion. Whether it's $8 billion or $2 billion or $1.5 billion, it's going to build a lot of wall. We're getting it done. We're right now in construction with wall in some of the most important areas. And we have renovated a tremendous amount of wall, making it just as good as new. That's where a lot of the money has been spent on renovation. In fact, we were restricted to renovating, which is okay. But we're going to run out of areas that we can renovate pretty soon. And we need new wall. So I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank in particular the angel moms and dads for being here. Thank you very much. We have great respect for you. The real country, our real country, the people that really love our country, they love you. So I just want you to know that. I know how hard you fight, and I know how hard a fight you're having. I also want to thank all of the law enforcement for the job you do. Believe me, our country loves you and they respect you greatly. And we're giving you a lot of surplus. We're giving you surplus military equipment, which a lot of people didn't like giving previous to this administration. But hundreds of millions of dollars of surplus equipment. And as we get it, as you know, we send it down and you have much better protection. But I really appreciate you being here. So the order is signed, and I'll sign the final papers as soon as I get into the Oval Office, and we will have a national emergency, and we will then be sued, and they will sue us in the Ninth Circuit, even though it shouldn't be there, and we will possibly get a bad ruling, and then we'll get another bad ruling, and then we'll end up in the Supreme Court, and hopefully we'll get a fair shake, and we'll win in the Supreme Court. Just like the ban, they sued us in the Ninth Circuit, and we lost, and then we lost in the appellate division, and then we went to the Supreme Court, and we won. And it was very interesting, because yesterday they were talking about the ban, because we have a ban. It's very helpful, Madam Secretary. Is that right? Without the ban, we'd have a bigger problem. We have a ban on certain areas, certain countries, depending on what's going on in the world. And we won, but somebody said, President Trump lost on the ban. Well, he was right. I lost at the lower court. He didn't say that we ultimately won at the Supreme Court. They didn't want to say that. They didn't want to go that far. They were saying how I lost. The person sitting right up here, Donald Trump lost on the ban. Yeah, I did. And then I lost a second time. You should have said that too. And then it went to the Supreme Court and I won. Didn't want to take it that far. But we won on the ban and we won on other things too. The probably easiest one to win is on declaring a national emergency, because we're declaring it for virtual invasion purposes, drugs, traffickers, and gangs. And one of the things, just to finish, we have removed thousands of MS-13 gang monsters. Thousands. They're out of this country. We take them out by the thousands, and they are monsters. Okay. Do you have any questions? Yeah. John, go ahead.
Yes.
You were prepared. Mr. President, a lot of the money...
Were you saying I was prepared?
What, with the microphone and prepared for questions?
I thought you meant I was prepared. I couldn't believe you said that. People don't like saying that.
You were prepared for questions.
I am prepared. I'm always prepared.
A lot of the money that goes to count toward your $8 billion is money that's being reprogrammed in the DOD budget. How can you guarantee to military families and to our men and women of the military that none of the money that would be reprogrammed to a wall will take away from other technology, other renovations, construction that is desperately needed in our military?
So, John, we had certain funds that are being used at the discretion of generals, at the discretion of the military. Some of them haven't been allocated yet, and some of the generals think that this is more important. I was speaking to a couple of them. They think this is far more important than what they were going to use it for. I said, what were you going to use it for? And I won't go into details, but didn't sound too important to me. Plus, if you think, I've gotten $700 billion for the military in year one, and then last year, $716 billion. And we're rebuilding our military. But we have a lot, and under the previous administration, our military was depleted, badly depleted, and they weren't spending. I mean, they had a much smaller amount of money. So when I got $700 billion and then $716 billion, and this year it's going to be pretty big too, because there's few things more important than our military. You know, I'm a big deficit believer in all of that, but before we really start focusing on certain things, we have to build up our military. It was very badly depleted. And we're buying all new jet fighters, all new missiles, all new defensive equipment. We have, we'll soon have a military like we've never had before. But when you think about the kind of numbers you're talking about, so you have $700 billion, $716 billion, when I need $2 billion, $3 billion out of that for a wall, which is a very important instrument, very important for the military because of the drugs that pour in. And as you know, we have specific rules and regulations where they have drugs and what you can do in order to stop drugs, and that's part of it too. We're taking a lot of money from that realm also. But when you have that kind of money going into the military, this is a very, very small amount that we're asking for. Now, go ahead. Go ahead. ABC, not NBC. I like ABC a little bit more, not much. Come on, ABC. Not much. Pretty close.
Mr. President, what do you say to those, including some of your Republican allies, who say that you are violating the Constitution with this move and setting a bad precedent that will be abused by possibly Democratic presidents in the future? Marco Rubio.
Well, not too many people, not too many people have said that. But the courts will determine that. Look, I expect to be sued. I shouldn't be sued. Very rarely do you get sued when you do national emergency. And then other people say, oh, if you use it for this, now what are we using it for? We've got to get rid of drugs and gangs and people. It's an invasion. We have an invasion of drugs and criminals coming into our country that we stop, but it's very hard to stop. With a wall, it would be very easy. So I think that we will be very successful in court. I think it's clear. And the people that say we create precedent, well, what do you have, 56 or a lot of times? Well, that's creating precedent. And many of those are far less important than having a border. You don't have a border, you don't have a country. You know, we fight, before I got here, we fight all over the world to create borders for countries. But we don't create a border for our own country. So I think what will happen is, sadly, we'll be sued, and sadly, it'll go through a process, and happily, we'll win, I think. Go ahead. Let's go. Let's hear it, NBC.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say, when in the past, when President Obama tried to use executive action as it related to immigration, you said the whole concept of executive order, it's not the way the country's supposed to be run. You said you're supposed to go through Congress and make a deal. Will you concede that you were unable to make the deal that you had promised in the past, and that the deal you're ending up with now from Congress is less than what you could have had before a 35-day shutdown?
I went through Congress. I made a deal. I got almost $1.4 billion when I wasn't supposed to get $1. Not $1. He's not going to get $1. Well, I got $1.4 billion, but I'm not happy with it. I also got billions and billions of dollars for other things. Port of entries, lots of different things. The purchase of drug equipment, more than we were even requesting. In fact, the primary fight was on the wall. Everything else, we have so much, as I said, I don't know what to do with it. We have so much money. But on the wall, they skimped. So I was successful in that sense, but I want to do it faster. I could do the wall over a longer period of time. I didn't need to do this, but I'd rather do it much faster. And I don't have to do it for the election. I've already done a lot of wall for the election, 2020. And the only reason we're up here talking about this is because of the election. Because they want to try and win an election which it looks like they're not going to be able to do. And this is one of the ways they think they can possibly win, is by obstruction and a lot of other nonsense. And I think that I just want to get it done faster. That's all. Okay. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank
Roberta
you.
Rampton from Reuters. I wanted to ask about China. Do you feel that enough progress has been made in the talks to head off the increase in tariffs scheduled for March 1?
Well, you know, you're talking to the wrong person, because I happen to like tariffs, okay? I mean, we're taking in billions and billions of dollars in tariffs from China. And our steel industry now, as an example, we tax dumped steel. Much of it comes from China at 25%. Our steel industry is so vibrant now again. They're building plants all over the United States. It's a beautiful thing. And from a defensive standpoint, and from any standpoint, you need steel. You know, you can do without certain industries. Our country cannot do without steel. So I love tariffs, but I also love them to negotiate. And right now, China is paying us billions of dollars a year in tariffs. And I haven't even started. Now, here's the thing. If we make a deal, they won't have to pay. You know, it'll be a whole different story. They won't be paying that, but we'll have a fair deal. There won't be intellectual property theft. There won't be so many other things that have gone on, and no other president has done this. No other president. We didn't have a deal with China. You had the WTO, one of the worst trade deals ever made, probably even worse than NAFTA, if that's believable, which is, you know, hard to believe, because I think NAFTA was just a disaster. It was a total disaster for our country. And now we made the USMCA, which is going to be a great deal. And by the way, the USMCA from Mexico, that's United States, Mexico, Canada, that's where the money's coming from, not directly but indirectly, for the wall. And nobody wants to talk about that, because we're saving billions and billions of dollars a year if Congress approves that deal. Now, they might not want to approve a deal just because they'll say, one of the things I'm thinking of doing, this has never been done before. No matter how good a deal I make with China, if they sell me Beijing for $1, if they give me 50% of their land and every ship that they've built over the last 2 years, which is a lot, and they give them to me free, the Democrats will say, what a lousy deal. That's a terrible deal. Like ZTE, I got more than $1 billion penalty in a short period of time. And the Democrats said, oh, should have gotten more. When I made that deal, I said, this is incredible. I got over $1 billion penalty, plus they had to change their board of directors. They had to change their top management. But they had to pay over $1 billion. I said, what a deal. It took like a week. And the Democrats didn't even know there was a problem with ZTE. I'm the one that fined them. I'm the one that settled it. Over $1 billion. And President Xi called me, and he said it would be important to him if they could get a deal. And we made a deal, paid like in a short period of time. The Democrats went out and said, They should have done better. So what I'm thinking of doing is getting Chuck Schumer, getting Nancy Pelosi, having them bring 2 or 3 of their brilliant representatives, and we'll all go down together, and what we'll do is we'll negotiate. I'll put them in the room and let them speak up. Because any deal I make with China, if it's it's going to be better than any deal that anybody ever dreamt possible. Or I'm not going to have a deal. It's very simple. But any deal I make with China, Schumer's going to stand up and say, oh, it should have been better. It should have been better. And you know what? That's not acceptable to me. So I'm thinking about doing something very different. I don't think it's ever been. I just don't want to be second guessed. But that's not even second guess. That's called politics. Sadly, I'd probably do the same thing to them. Okay? But any deal I make, toward the end, I'm going to bring Schumer, at least offer him, and Pelosi. I'm going to say, please join me on the deal. And by the way, I just see our new Attorney General is sitting in the front row. Please stand up, Bill. Such an easy job he's got. He's got the easiest job in government. Thank you, and congratulations. That was a great vote yesterday. Thank you very much. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
In your remarks, sir, you said that you were too new to politics earlier in your administration when you would have preferred that this be done. Is that an admission of how you might be changing on the job? And
well, I'm learning. I mean, I am learning. Don't forget, it's not like I've done this for. A senator came into my office and said, sir, I've been running for office for 30 years. I've won 7 out of 7. I did lose a couple when I was younger. I said, well, I've won 1 out of 1. But, you know, I never did politics before. Now I do politics. I will tell you, I'm very disappointed at certain people, particular one, for not having pushed this faster.
Are you referring to
But
Speaker
I've
Ryan,
learned-
sir?
Who?
Speaker Ryan?
Let's not talk about it.
Okay.
What difference does it make? But they should have pushed it faster. They should have pushed it harder. And they didn't. They didn't. If they would have, it would have been a little bit better. In the meantime, I built a lot of wall. I have a lot of money, and I built a lot of wall. But it would have been nice to have gotten done. And I would like to see major immigration reform. And maybe that's something we can all work on, Bill, where we all get together and do major immigration reform, not just for a wall, for a barrier, for port of entry, for other things. We have a real problem. We have catch and release. You catch a criminal, and you have to release him. We have so many other things. You have chain migration, where a bad person comes in, brings 22 or 23 or 35 of his family members because he has his mother, his grandmother, his sister, his cousin, his uncle. They're all in. You know what happened on the West Side Highway? That young wise guy drove over and killed 8 people and horribly injured. Nobody talks about that. Horribly, like loss of legs and arms. Going 60 miles an hour, he made a right turn into a park on the West Side Highway along the Hudson River in New York. He had many people brought in because he was in the United States. It's called chain migration. And then you have the lottery. It's a horror show. Because when countries put people into the lottery, they're not putting you in. They're putting some very bad people in the lottery. It's common sense. If I ran a country, and if I have a lottery system of people going to the United States, I'm not going to put in my stars. I'm going to put in people I don't want. The lottery system's a disaster. I'm stuck with it.
Mr. President, could you tell us?
It should have never happened. Okay.
Mr. President, could you tell us to what degree some of the outside conservative voices helped to shape your views on this national emergency?
I would talk about it. Look, Sean Hannity has been a terrific, terrific supporter of what I do, not of me. If I changed my views, he wouldn't be with me. Rush Limbaugh, I think he's a great guy. He's a guy who can speak for 3 hours without a phone call. Try doing that sometime. For 3 hours he speaks. He's got one of the biggest audiences in the history of the world. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. Try speaking for 3 hours without taking calls. Taking calls is easy. Okay, I'll answer this one, I'll answer that one. He goes for 3 hours, and he's got an audience that's fantastic. Wait, they don't decide policy. In fact, if I went opposite, I mean, they have somebody, Ann Coulter. I don't know her. I hardly know her. I haven't spoken to her in way over a year. But the press loves saying Ann Coulter. Probably if I did speak to her, she'd be very nice. I just don't have the time to speak to her. I would speak to her. I have nothing against her. In fact, I like her for one reason. When they asked her, like right at the beginning, who's going to win the election? She said, Donald Trump. And the two people that asked her that question smiled. They said, you're kidding, aren't you? Nope, Donald Trump. So I like her. But she's off the reservation, but anybody that knows her understands that. But I haven't spoken to her. I don't follow her. I don't talk to her. But the press loves to bring up the name Ann Coulter. And you know what? I think she's fine. I think she's good, but I just don't speak to her. Laura's been great, Laura Ingraham. Tucker Carlson's been great. I actually have a couple of people on CNN that have been very good. I have some on MSNBC the other day. They did a great report of me. I say, where the hell did that come from? I think it was the only one in over a year. So the crazy thing is, I just had, as you know, Rasmussen 52% in the polls. This is my highest poll number. And people get what we're doing. They get it. They really get it. And I'm honored by it. Yes, Jim Acosta.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wonder if you could comment on this disconnect that we seem to have in this country, where you are presenting information about what's happening at the border, calling it an invasion, talking about women with duct tape over their mouths and so on, and yet there's a lot of reporting out there, there's a lot of crime data out there, there's a lot of Department of Homeland Security data out there that shows border crossings at a near record low. That shows undocumented immigrants committing crime at lower levels. That shows undocumented criminals or undocumented immigrants committing crime at lower levels than native-born Americans. What do you say to
you don't really believe that stat? Do you really believe that stat? Take a look at our federal prisons.
I believe in facts and statistics and data.
Any more quick? Let's go.
Let me just ask you this. What do you say to your critics who say that you are creating a national emergency, that you're concocting a national emergency here in order to get your wall because you couldn't get it through other ways?
Moms, what do you think? Do you think I'm creating something? Ask these incredible women who lost their daughters and their sons. Okay? Because your question is a very political question, because you have an agenda. You're CNN, you're fake news. You have an agenda. The numbers that you gave are wrong. Take a look at our federal prison population. See how many of them, percentage-wise, are illegal aliens. Just see. Go ahead and see. It's a fake question. Yes, go ahead.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to follow up on that, unifying crime reporting statistics, numbers from your own Border Patrol, numbers from this government show that the amount of
think about this guy talking about the border for over 7 years now. And now we're here. Maybe Laken Riley would still be here. Maybe she would still be here right now if they had done something sooner. Maybe all those mothers who lost loved ones would still be here right now if they've actually taken into consideration when he declared national emergency to secure the border wall funding. Maybe like how does he say things 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and 7 years into what he said, this BS happens. People are losing their lives. This is absolutely not. This is not, guys. This man is a legend. I don't see other way to categorize this guy. He is just a legend, period. Like OG status. He deserves it.
Illegal immigrants are down. There is not violence on the border, and that
there's
most
not violence on the
there's
border?
not as much violence
Oh, really?
as. Let me,
You had
wait a minute,
26 people
Let me finish the
killed.
question, please. Let me finish the question.
2 weeks
please.
ago, 26.
This guy just said there is no violence at the border. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Can you imagine this guy? No violence at the border, Mr. President. You are overreacting. And the border wasn't even like this, guys. The border was actually much more secure than what it is today at the time when he was having this press conference. But he saw how devastating things could go. He saw the future. He knew if we don't do something right now, maybe, just maybe, we might not have this much of a secured border in future. Let's make sure it's fully secured now before I leave, guys. And now, Laken Riley's gone. Yosei Ibarra was the person that took Laken Riley's life. And he was an illegal immigrant that came in through the border during Biden administration. And it's not just Yosei Ibarra. It wasn't just Laken Riley. So many people. So many people, guys. This was 5 years ago, Vegas. This was 5 years ago. This was probably 2019. 2019, guys. Because, of course, 2020, everybody was gone, wearing masks and stuff. But this was 2019 when common sense was in vogue. Okay?
People were killed in a gunfight on the border.
I understand what you're
saying.
saying.
A mile away from where I went.
I was there. I understand. That's not the question. The question is...
Do we forget about that?
No, I'm not forgetting about it. I'm asking you to clarify where you get your numbers, because most of the DEA crimes reporting statistics that we see show that drugs are coming across at the ports of entry, that illegal immigration is down, and the violence is down. Okay. So what do you base your facts on?
Come on, let's go.
Secondly...
no, you get one. You get one.
Well, the second question is...
Wait, sit down. Sit down.
Could you please answer
Sit down. You get one question. I get my numbers from a lot of sources, like Homeland Security, primarily. And the numbers that I have from Homeland Security are a disaster. And you know what else is a disaster? The numbers that come out of Homeland Security, Kirsten, for the cost that we spend and the money that we lose because of illegal immigration. Billions and billions of dollars a month. Billions and billions of dollars. And it's unnecessary.
So your own government stats are wrong, are you saying?
No, I use many stats.
Could you share those stats with us?
Let me tell you,
Who are you? Man, would you sit your head down? Who are you? Why would you be telling me to share my stats with you? I am the commander-in-chief, and I say secure the goddamn border. What are you saying? Share the stats with you. What are you? Who are, bro? Matter of fact, you're going to have to leave. Somebody take this guy out of here. It's like, what are you saying? Share the stats with us. A commander-in-chief is here saying he wants to secure the people inside. And you are so worried about the people outside. And you are saying share the stats with me. What are you? Director of National Intelligence? Tulsi Gabbard? You're Tulsi Gabbard now? Because I don't know.
I have stats that are far worse than the ones that I use. But I use many stats, but I also use Homeland Security. All right, next question.
And do you, wait a minute, just a quick follow-up, Mr.
Go, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to bring you back to China for a second. The White House put out a statement today talking about the March 1st deadline. The other day, though, you gave the possibility that...
And guess what? Those questions were the same rhetoric that CNN would cut off and say, look at how he's talking to the media. He wants to stop freedom of speech. Look at him right here. Look at what he's doing. Boom, boom. Breaking news. Trump tells reporter to sit down. He commands reporter to sit down. He tells reporter he's only taking one question. Not knowing this is what he was going through during the press conference. Like, Obama never had it this hard. Obama never had it. He never had it this hard. Biden definitely. Oh, Biden definitely never had it this hard. All Biden got was, sir, Mr. President, sir, what's your favorite ice cream?
Maybe this could slide. Are you eyeing a possible extension, 30 days, maybe 60 days? Where does the status there?
Very
Or
good
is
question.
March 1st
So it's
the
a very
deadline?
big deal. I guess you could say it's like, must be the biggest deal ever made. If you think trade with China, how big does that get? Although if you look, the USMCA is right up there. But it's very complicated. There are many, many points that we're bringing up that nobody ever brought up or thought to bring up, but they're very important because we were on the wrong side of every one of them. There is a possibility that I will extend the date. And if I do that, if I see that we're close to a deal or the deal is going in the right direction, I would do that at the same tariffs that we're charging now. I would not increase the tariffs.
Let me also ask you about the debt, sir, because it's gone from a shade under 20 trillion from when you took office. Now it's a shade over 22 trillion and heading in the wrong direction. What are your plans to reverse it?
Well, it's all about growth. But before
Growth
I
only,
really
or-
focus on that, and you have to remember, President Obama put on more debt on this country than every president in the history of our country combined. So when I took over, we had one man that put on more debt than every other president combined. Combine them all. So you can't be talking about that. But I talk about it because I consider it very important. But first I have to straighten out the military. The military was depleted. And if we don't have a strong military, that hopefully we won't have to use because it's strong, if we don't have a strong military, you don't have to worry about debt. You have bigger problems. So I had to straighten out the military. That's why I did the 700 and 716 billion. But growth will straighten it out. You saw last month the trade deficit went way down. Everybody said, what happened? Well, what's happening is growth. But before I can focus too much on that, a very big expense is military. And we have no choice but to straighten out our
Is
military.
growth the only answer, sir, or is entitlement?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. On North Korea, back on the last summit, you guys came out with a pretty general agreement.
Yes.
I was wondering what you thought has, been accomplished since the last summit, and then are we going to be seeing anything
lot's been
concrete on denuclearization?
Yeah, a lot's been accomplished. We're dealing with them. We're talking to them. When I came into office, I met right there in the Oval Office with President Obama. And I sat in those beautiful chairs, and we talked. It was supposed to be 15 minutes. As you know, it ended up being many times longer than that. And I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, by far, North Korea. And I don't want to speak for him, but I believe he would have gone to war with North Korea. I think he was ready to go to war. In fact, he told me he was so close to starting a big war with North Korea. Now, where are we now? No missiles, no rockets, no nuclear testing. We've learned a lot. But much more importantly than all of it, much more important than that, is we have a great relationship. I have a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un. And I've done a job. In fact, I think I can say this. Prime Minister Abe of Japan gave me the most beautiful copy of a letter that he sent to the people who give out a thing called the Nobel Prize. He said, I have nominated you, or respectfully on behalf of Japan, I am asking them to give you the Nobel Peace Prize. I said, thank you. Many other people feel that way, too. I'll probably never get it, but that's okay. They gave it to Obama. He didn't even know what he got it for. He was there for about 15 seconds, and he got the Nobel Prize. He said, oh, what did I get it for? With me, I probably will never get it. But if you look at Idlib province in Syria, I stopped the slaughter of perhaps 3 million people. Nobody talk about that. They don't talk about that. Russia and Iran and Syria were going to go in and perhaps destroy 3 million people in order to get 45,000 terrorists. And I heard about it from a woman who had her parents and her brothers living there, and she said, please, please. And I said, no, it can't happen. What are you talking about? No, they're going to get, and I come home and I read a certain paper where the story was there that they were actually forming to go into, to really do big destruction. And I put out a statement that you better not do it. And in all fairness to Russia and Iran and Syria, they didn't attack, or they're doing it surgically at least. Saved a lot of people. We do a lot of good work. This administration does a tremendous job, and we don't get credit for it. But I think the people understand what we do. So Prime Minister Abiy.
Yeah, we do.
Gave me, I mean, it's the most beautiful five-page letter. Nobel Prize. He sent it to them. You know why? Because he had rocket ships and he had missiles flying over Japan. And they had alarms going off. You know that. Now all of a sudden they feel good. They feel safe. I did that. And it was a very tough dialogue at the beginning. Fire and fury, total annihilation. My button is bigger than yours and my button works. Remember that? You don't remember that. And people said, Trump is crazy. And you know what it ended up being? A very good relationship. I like him a lot and he likes me a lot. Nobody else would have done that. The Obama administration couldn't have done it. Number one, they probably wouldn't have done it. And number two, they didn't have the capability to do it. So I just want to thank everybody. I want to wish our new Attorney General great luck and speed and enjoy your life. Bill, good luck. A tremendous reputation. I know you'll do a great job. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There you have it. You've heard the 45th. There's so many videos we can watch. Sit here for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. In future, when I get my whole settings right, we probably would be doing like a whole full day stream, like a 2-day stream. Y'all could go to sleep, come back, and still we'll keep going. Y'all could go to work, come back, we'll still keep going. But for now, look, I have a lot of plan for 2025, okay? 2025, we're going to be going strong, and the streaming game on YouTube would be wild. And we're not just going to do political stuff, okay? We're going to do so many things, travel situations, and, you know, my plan, I really want to go to the White House, okay? I want to go visit the White House and see how things are in the White House. And this next 4 years is, my prediction is it's going to be nice, fruitful, purposeful, and great. You know, this is what I predict for the next 4 years. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for always tuning in. Shout out to the moderators. Vegas Woman, you are the best. Thank you, Vegas Woman. Mr. Busky, God bless you, bro. Ellie, shout out to you. You know what? You guys are awesome. And never give up on yourself. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on God. Believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, and believe in God. Instead of looking for perfection, seek for consistency. Okay? Life is hard, but never ever give up. Stay strong, never quit. You have to have grit. Okay? Never quit. Just never ever quit. If you don't quit and you stay positive and you keep going, it's going to be hard. It's not going to be a walk in the park. Okay, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. The economy is so in shambles that people are doing 2 or 3 jobs just to get by. However, if you stay strong, stay in it, you are already in pain. Okay, you are already in pain. So, I mean, get a reward for your pain. You know what I mean? Like, you're already going through BS. You're not going to go through all this BS and not get anything out of it. You know what I mean? So, I feel your pain. I'm praying for you. I love you. Okay? I really do love you, for real, because you spend your time with me. You don't have to, but you do. So, I really do love you. And stay strong, man. Just stay strong. And keep pushing forward, keep moving forward, keep adjusting, keep being flexible. You can have a goal, however, you don't have to say this is the only path I'm going to take to that goal. No, have a goal, but then have flexibility towards achieving your goals. Okay, I never thought I would be streaming political content, but I love politics. I love talking about the United States. I love talking about the economy. I love talking about the border, foreign policy. I'm like, I love talking about this stuff. And my partner doesn't even like talking about it. Matter of fact, she doesn't even want to hear it. But I love it. So I'm like, there's nobody to talk about this stuff in the house anyway. So let me just talk to the people in this world. And guess what? Y'all resonated with it. So there's a lot of stuff that I really want to talk to you guys about, but I'm just taking it step by step. And, you know, now we're over 100,000 subscribers. Sometimes it's hard because it's like, do I want to keep going or do I want to just chill? But, you know, we just got monetized on YouTube, and God is great. God is great, you know. And, yeah. And I see this going somewhere crazy in the future. But this is zero marketing, no sponsored ads on YouTube, no nothing. And we're getting whatever views we're getting, so, or whatever subscribers we're getting, or whatever tractions we're getting. So I just want to say thank you to you guys, and God bless you guys, and thank you. Have a wonderful night, okay? Stay strong once again. Stay strong, okay? Stay strong. And I also want to start posting some videos on my video page, because right now we're only investing time into live streams. And live streams, for example, we've been streaming now for like an hour, 55 minutes or so. So moving forward, I also want to drop more videos on my video page where you guys can watch, and we can probably only go live like once a day. And, you know, just keep dropping like 2 or 3 videos on my video page. That way you guys can have content from me that you can watch and still keep in touch with me. Because now it's only like when I'm here on the live shows that you can interact with me. But I want you guys to be able to interact with me even when I'm not on live stream. And that would be by posting more videos on my video page. But that is going to happen. Thank you so much. I'm going through a lot of stuff, okay? It's not just you. Just the same way you're going through stuff, I'm going through stuff, okay? I got a family member that was diagnosed with lupus nephritis. Actually, my spouse was diagnosed with lupus nephritis and GBS. So she's basically paralyzed from her neck down, and she's been paralyzed for 2 months. So think about it, your spouse being paralyzed for 2 months. But I come up here, act like I'm living roses to golden floors. No, shit is hard, but this is life, okay? Life is hard. Chin up, smile, and take it. Just take it, bro. Take it, because it's hard. You're gonna go through BS and you would wish, why is this happening to me? It's life, okay? I'm just glad that I have been given the strength to go through life and have a positive energy and have a high energy to take a lot and to be able to dissolve it without breaking down or, you know, having some mental breakdown, because it takes a lot of guts to be able to come up here going through life and still show up, okay? Show up. All right. I don't want to bore you with my issues, and I don't want you to overthink about your issues, okay? Just stay focused, stay strong, and just know God got you. God is your strength. Stay focused. I love you guys. I love the United States. Thank you so much. God bless you.